Welcome to Arroyos del Sol, Greeley's newest natural area. With nearly 1,000 acres of protected land, this space will eventually transform into a hub for outdoor adventure and conservation. I'm joined today with Kristen Wilkinson, City of Greeley Environmental Planner, who's going to join to tell us about these key features and this exciting new site plan we have for this space.
Hi, Amy.
Kristen, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I think it's natural that we start at what will be the trailhead. So can you tell us how this space will welcome visitors?
Absolutely. So the parking area won't change significantly, but once you venture down the hill a little ways, we're going to be adding a large new shade shelter, which can house several different picnic tables underneath it. Great for large groups to gather, school field trips, things like that. And just beyond the picnic shelter, there will be a council ring. So picture a bunch of rocks or boulders where people can gather to have a conversation, or maybe where educational programs could be held.
Wonderful. So you mentioned shade. I know that back in October we had the storybook adventure here out on this site, and it was a beautiful Colorado day. It was in October, and it was toasty outside. I remember being sunburned a little bit. So is shade one of those enhancements that's going to be out here on the property?
Absolutely. So as you can tell, looking out at this landscape, there's almost no trees out here. And this ecosystem really isn't designed to handle trees. There's not enough moisture up here. So planting trees really wouldn't be effective. So we're going to be putting shade shelters here at the trailhead and then sprinkling them throughout the property as well to provide a little bit of respite from the sun, a nice place to rest and relax and really take in the views, because we have these amazing views of the mountains right here.
I know, it's beautiful. Speaking of respite and taking a little bit of a break, we're going to go over to the one of the overlooks of this site plan, and Kristen's going to explain what that key feature is about. Come on.
All right.
It's been a beautiful day. We've been walking for a little bit now. Long enough that I'm wondering, where are we?
Right, so we are getting to one of the overlook locations that are planned in the site plan. So the idea of an overlook is a place where you've been walking a little ways, you want a little break. We are going to be installing shade shelters and benches where just a couple of people could have a little rest and some time to connect with nature and take in these beautiful views of the Poudre River and some of the bluffs.
Yeah, this is a stunning landscape, really different from where we were down at the trailhead. So you talked about connecting with nature and how we walked up here a little bit. So it'd be great for someone, I would imagine, who are maybe biking or with small children, even to stop and have a snack break.
Exactly, and these overlooks provide, especially families with kids, a destination to get to. You know, you feel accomplished, you feel like you've gotten to a beautiful site, maybe the end of your hike before you start heading back to the trailhead. And like you said, connection with nature. You know, this site is close to town, but it really feels like you're out here in the wilderness.
It does. We feel like we're far away, but yet we see the beautiful mountains, the Poudre River in the background. It's gorgeous. I'm really excited to talk about our last feature of this site plan. We're going to head over to what we call the Hilltop Hub next. So we're ending today at what you all deemed the Hilltop Hub in the site plan. So what is a hub, and how does it encourage people to come together?
Right, so the Hilltop Hub is going to be situated on the hilltop beyond the trees down below us. So that's the highest point on the property. That's part of why we called it the Hilltop Hub.
Makes sense.
Yep, and it is going to serve as the gateway for visitors into this property in the future. So there will be a parking lot, a building with visitor amenities. There will be nature play areas and a bike skills course. So picture trails all over that hilltop where children or beginning mountain bikers can work on their skills.
Nice. So what about like blending in? I'm picturing this being more developed or more planned out. And it's so hard to think about right now because it's just this vast area of land. Is there going to be a building or structure of some sort in this space?
Yep, so we are planning a visitor center with some basic amenities for visitors. And this is a little bit more in the future than the trailhead or the overlook that we saw earlier. So more details still need to be figured out for this location. But we're picturing it as the entrance point, the welcoming spot for visitors to this new natural area.
Great. So how do you blend the natural landscape into something like that?
Right. So part of what we thought about is keeping that building lower profile. It's not going to be a skyscraper. So it'll be low profile. It'll use colors from the natural environment that we might see out here. Some browns, tans, greens, things like that. So it should really blend in nicely and provide these wonderful views as well.
Okay, wonderful. And then I guess the last thing I really just want to ask is, how far into the future are we thinking here? Is this something that folks can see, what's realistic for people to see?
Right. So all of these improvements are capital projects for the city, and the city has a long list of capital projects already planned or underway. So these will be added into that list, and as we get funding, then we'll start working towards those. We can start sooner on the trailhead developments, the overlook developments, because we already have construction designs for those. However, the Hilltop Hub, we don't have specific construction plans yet, so that's much further out.
That makes sense. And I actually have one more question, because I'm hearing the birds sing in the background, and I'm seeing some prairie dogs scurry around and some other animals. I know that the site's closed currently. Can you tell us why it's closed? We just talked about how great this place is, so I just want to give our viewers a reason.
Absolutely. So we close each winter because this site is one of the last large parcels where wildlife can find respite from humans in the wintertime. And the topography, these low-lying arroyos, provide shelter for wildlife from wind and blowing snow. So it's really important that wildlife have a safe haven where they can rest and conserve their energy. And then we'll reopen around March or April, depending on weather and how much snow we've gotten.
Okay, well, Kristen, that was so fun today. It was a beautiful day for us to come out here. I appreciate your time and everything that you're doing for this space. And for our viewers out there, if you want to learn more about the project and the community engagement that was involved with this site plan, and to dig into that site plan a little more, visit speakupgreeley.com.